Mexico in the 1920s, a land scarred by revolution. But from the ashes of one conflict rose another, a hidden civil war. This was not a battle for land or power, but for faith. The Cristero Rebellion, a name etched in blood and sacrifice, pitted the Mexican government against its own people, rural Catholics who refused to let their beliefs be silenced. The Mexican Revolution had overthrown a dictatorship, but the fight for the soul of the nation was far from over. President Plutarco Elias Calles, a staunch anti-clericalist, took the reins of power in 1924. He saw the Catholic Church as a rival, an obstacle to progress. His answer? Oppression. The government closed churches, deported priests, and forbade public worship. For the devout, it was an assault on their very way of life. Calles' policies were embodied in the infamous Calles Law of 1926. This law placed severe restrictions on the church, limiting the number of priests, forbidding religious orders, and even prohibiting criticism of the government by the clergy. Schools were secularized, and priests were forbidden from wearing their clerical garb in public. The message was clear: faith was to be driven underground. The Mexican people, deeply Catholic after centuries of tradition, were forced to make a choice: submit to the government's decrees or resist. For many, particularly in the rural areas where faith was woven into the fabric of daily life, the answer was simple: they would fight. The call to arms reverberated through the villages and towns of Mexico. Viva Cristo Rey, long live Christ the King, became the rallying cry of the Cristeros, a loosely organized but deeply passionate force of farmers, ranchers, and ordinary people turned soldiers. They took up whatever arms they could find, old rifles, machetes, even homemade weapons, and met the might of the Mexican army with unwavering faith. One of the most iconic figures of the rebellion was Father José Reyes Vega. A priest turned general, Vega embodied the Cristeros' unwavering commitment to their cause. He led his troops with a Bible in one hand and a rifle in the other, a symbol of the spiritual and physical fight they waged. Under his leadership, and that of other charismatic figures like Victoriano Ramirez, known as El Catorce for his legendary brutality, the Cristeros won a series of early victories. The rebellion spread like wildfire, engulfing much of central and western Mexico. The Cristeros, though often outgunned and outmanned, used their knowledge of the terrain to their advantage, employing guerrilla tactics to harass the federal army. Their courage and determination, fueled by their faith, made them a formidable force. Blood on holy ground. The Cristero Rebellion was a brutal affair. Both sides committed atrocities fueled by ideology and desperation. Villages were razed, prisoners executed, and the countryside stained with the blood of innocent and combatant alike. The Mexican government, determined to crush the rebellion, showed little mercy to those who opposed them. The Catholic Church's stance on the rebellion was complex and at times contradictory. While some priests, like Vega, actively took up arms, the church hierarchy, both in Mexico and the Vatican, remained officially neutral, condemning the violence but urging peaceful resistance. This ambiguity left many Cristeros feeling abandoned by the very institution they were fighting to defend. One of the most horrific examples of the conflict's brutality was the massacre at El Templo de San Jose in Guadalajara. On April 3, 1929, during Palm Sunday Mass, a bomb exploded inside the church, killing dozens of worshippers, including women and children. This act, attributed to the government but never officially acknowledged, sent shockwaves through Mexico and highlighted the depths of hatred the conflict had engendered. A fragile peace. By 1929, the Cristero Rebellion had reached a stalemate. The Mexican government, though unable to fully quell the rebellion, had inflicted heavy losses on the Cristeros. The church, eager to avoid further bloodshed and facing mounting pressure from both sides, saw a negotiated peace as the only viable option. The truce, brokered by the United States ambassador to Mexico, Dwight Morrow, was signed in June 1929. The agreement allowed for the return of priests and the resumption of religious services, but with significant restrictions remaining in place. The Cristeros, though granted amnesty, were forced to lay down their arms and return to a life under a government that still viewed them with suspicion. The Cristero Rebellion officially ended, but the scars of the conflict ran deep. Thousands lay dead, families were torn apart, and the relationship between the church and the state remained deeply fractured. The Cristeros, though defeated militarily, had achieved a moral victory, demonstrating the depths of their faith and their willingness to die for their beliefs. Echoes of the Cristero War. The Cristero War might be a forgotten chapter in world history, but its legacy continues to resonate in Mexico. The Cristeros are remembered by many as folk heroes, martyrs who stood up for their faith against overwhelming odds. Their struggle is seen as a testament to the power of religious conviction and the importance of religious freedom. In recent years, there has been a renewed interest in the Cristero Rebellion. Books, films, and even video games have brought the conflict to life for new generations. In 2006, Pope Benedict XVI canonized several Cristero martyrs, solidifying their place in the pantheon of Catholic saints. The Cristero War serves as a reminder of the dangers of religious persecution and the enduring power of faith. The Cristero Rebellion remains an integral part of the Mexican historical narrative, a testament to the enduring power of faith and the human cost of intolerance. It is a story that continues to be debated and reinterpreted, its echoes still heard in the ongoing dialogue about religious freedom and the role of religion in society. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe to History Untold for more fascinating content.